Hello, everybody, and welcome to Bracket Fighters. Yeah, another website that we're gonna try out. If you don't know this one, I think it's self-explanatory. You can see we have people, or could put in food, or I don't know, cars, and basically rank them till you come to the top one. Or let them fight, which we are going to do in our case. The idea for this is that our Intrepid heroes, the characters of the Intrepid heroes through all the seasons, we have all our seasons here, and fight it out, and we will try to imagine what could happen, what could that look like, and who would win in that fight. Now, as you can see, we have only about like half the cast here. It's like 16 people, or characters, and we will do a second video next week where we'll the rest of the cast, which should be 624, I think, is the next one. I'm not quite sure about that, but I wanted to split this up. Also, I don't have so much time today, so I decided to make it kind of like a smaller bracket. And yeah, I think that's all. So without any further ado, let's jump into it. And as always, let me know down in the comments if you disagree with something I do or fully agree. I would like to know. I always like to talk about, Dimension 20. Our first duel is between Rosmund and Norman. Now, I'm all ready for Rosmund. We are going to talk about these people, however, in their best form. Like, for example, Olefra will have her mech. And of course, I mean, the Never After people, I feel like they leveled up after they died. Like, basically, their new form. It was kind of like, well, effed up, but they were also stronger. So this is also the version that we're going here with our princess. With that kept in mind, I don't know what the strongest form of Norman is. If he's on his own, if he's the slug inside, but nevertheless, it doesn't really work out in his favor, I feel like. Even if the slug comes out, and I feel like the vines of Rosmund will take care of everything here. And even if he flies away, like you mentioned, he flies away with his rocket boots, or like he has rocket boots, and that he also can shoot out of, and she would be able to arch him down. So yeah, I feel like even with his stealth, like rogue kind of deal, again, her plants are basically protecting her. The animals are protecting her. She's a formidable foe. So there you go. Next up, we have, oh my god, no, two sweethearts, two cuties. I'm not even sure how this fight would happen, like why these two would fight, but and probably Kristen did something unsafe and caused a fire, and Ricky got really mad about that. And a fight, however, I mean, Ricky is a fighter. Like that is what he does. I mean, he's a hero. He's a savior. And Christian has, however, some strong magical capabilities. But at the end, I'm actually going to give this to Ricky. I feel like he's just. I don't see Christian, even the buff Christian as we get her here in the picture and in the third season. I don't feel like she has a chance against Ricky. This is not a good matchup for her. So yeah, let's give this one to Ricky. I'm sorry, Kristen, you're not really offensive. And I mean, Ricky is, well, he is. No, he is. It is just not his wife, but actually he can pack a punch, or he does pack a punch. Now we come to MFR versus Riz. Now, I feel like we have to talk about context. Because on a fight where they're like on a field and they have to fight each other, then I would probably give it to MFR. However, Riz is pretty quick and nimble. And if we speak of another context where this would be like an assassination attempt, then yes, Riz would take MFR out easily, even with Theo there. But however, we didn't really talk about context with all these fighters here. It's just so dependent. I mean, of course, with Rosmund and Norman, you could say, okay, what is if they're in space? Or like with Ricky and Christian, what is if they're like in the Forest of the Nightmare King? Even though Ricky would be fine there as well. What is Christian's domain? A question mark. Probably she doesn't even know it herself, does she? So yeah, let me know what you think about this, like the terrain or like in general. The context, of course, matters, but I mean, we can imagine all kind of scenarios where one is in more of an advantage over the other. But I feel like in just a basic fight, I'm still gonna give it to Riz, honestly. You know, it's MFRD Unfallen though. Ooh, this is harder than I thought it would be. But yeah, no, I'm gonna give it to Riz. It just feels more like this is a fight for Riz. This, I mean, do we really need to talk about this longer? It is going to go to Daisuke. Nothing against you, Pinocchio. You have some weird powers, of course, as a patron of a. Oh wait, is he the patron or not? No, he is like warlock. He's a warlock. Yeah, and the patron is the being that gives you the power, right? Is that how it works? I think so. However, nevertheless, or if Warlock or Patron or whatever you call, Daisuke is going to shoot you up in an instant. And I have honestly no idea what Pinocchio could even do against that. Like even Pinocchio Crow or what it called wouldn't help him here. I mean, it also wouldn't help him in the regular way either because they're not really friendly to each other, are they? But yeah, Daisuke wins here. Ooh, okay, now we come to Rosmund versus Ricky. Now hear me out. I actually feel like the Questing Blade would do some wild damage against the Vines. And in general, something divine about Ricky is, like I know this sounds really silly, but he has like a Prince Charming kind of way, literally. So I feel like he could be like the Prince Charming to Rosmund's story. And basically, this power alone will make her weak. And of course, she's looking for a husband. Yeah, no, she is. If she sees Ricky, she will just surrender. Ooh, now this is a battle. This is gonna be a shootout. Wow. Okay. Now I'm gonna say if it purely comes to talent of shooting, I would give it to Daisuke, definitely. But Reese definitely has some tricks up his sleeve. And Daisuke is pretty straightforward, so I'm not sure if he would fall for the tricks themselves, but I don't feel like Daisuke deals in trickery, you know, like himself that way. Even though he has the disguise kick. However, I don't know what it is, but I just feel like Daisuke, he would be able to prevail. He will be able, like, he would definitely fall for some of tricks by Riz, but at the end, I feel like he will be triumphant. At least that's what I want. Is it realistic? Uh, yeah, no, I'm gonna give it to Daisuke. It just makes more sense to me. It's just Riz does not. He's a little green into the ears, behind the ears. And yes, the pun was intended. So let's go, Daisuke. However, now we have Ricky versus Daisuke. No, my two favorite Sek characters fighting it out. Why? I mean, honestly, just in a fight. I mean, Daisuke is just a killing machine. That's what he does. So, I mean, does anybody stand a chance against him? We will see when we go to the right side of the bracket. But this is way clearer to me than the fight before against Riz. I feel like Ricky would maybe try to talk to Daisuke, and I could see him using a shield of some sort, like a divine shield. I mean, Ricky now. But it wouldn't be enough. Daisuke would still be prevailing. And yeah, nothing can kill this man, and he can kill everything, I feel like. Now we come to the characters on the right side, and we have Sandre Sydney versus Kagurash. Ooh, this is interesting, because Kagurash could... I mean, but he's not so technical attuned, is he? But I was kind of like, maybe he could just like skitter around her body and kind of try to dismantle her. I don't think, however, that he knows how this works. However, what Kagurash does know or does have is, of course, his powers not as a mage, as a druid. And however, also I feel like Sandra Sidney probably knows how to deal with pests, basically. And yeah, no, I'm gonna give it to her. She's gonna do laser beam this red off the ship. Ooh, now Alefra against no, that's not Ruby, that's Jet. Now, as I said, I'm gonna give Alefra her mech, so she is inside her mech, and that actually gives her a huge advantage, I would say. I feel like, yeah, Jet, you don't have the prowess to fight against a mech like this. I don't even know if she would have any attacks that could penetrate it. As long as Alefra stays in there, she will be fine. Yeah, so Alefra, go. Ooh, and of course, Iga goes against one of the Never After people because, I mean, if anybody knows any of these stories, or maybe Iga would even know about the Never After itself, like knows that the stories are alive, I would give that to her. And honestly, I think that she would be able to maybe do. I feel like Iga has some sort of like old lore in her chest or something that she can just be like, yeah, I know exactly what to do against you or about you. Well, if you speak about Ilga now, as said before in the strongest form, now Ilga and Kagresh also, like Kagresh in his strongest form would be probably the universe, and Ilga probably would be her end form where she basically becomes death. But I do feel like these two do not quite count because they lose themselves in a way also. And I don't know what it is, but I feel like something about Iga. I feel like she can do it. Like this is her. If it wouldn't be somebody from the Never After, or like a, I'm sorry, Little Red Riding Hood. I'm sorry, I don't want to call you a monster, but basically you are monsters from a wood, from the Dark Ages, and Iga can deal with that. If anything, she can definitely deal with that. So the next up we have, ooh, well, now that is so funny, y'all. Like, normally I would say Cumulus is probably one of the most formidable fighters. However, against Riva, y'all, she's literally water. Well, not that she is, but she is inside water. And now we can say, well, even if she's in her drone form, what is he going to do to her? He can attack the drone, but after that, she is just back in her body and he's like, what? What you gonna do? And I don't feel like there's any way that Cumulus could go after Riva. So I feel like Riva wins. Because she's just inside the water, and if he touches or any of the candy come in contact with water, you know what happened. Bad girlies. Two baddies. I wanted to say another word, but I caught myself. I think this is. Sandra Sydney definitely has weapons to penetrate the mag, to get it open, to basically even maybe to. She has like handy Andy. Is that what's it called? So maybe she could even disanimate the mag that it cannot move anymore. And this actually gives a lot of like steampunk or like old tech versus new tech, like futuristic. Steampunk versus futuristic machinery. Sandra Sidney will take that. She will. Ooh, now two of Siobhan's characters fighting it out. Now in this case, I feel like Iga will also be the winner. Even though Riva has a lot of mind controlling thing as well. But then again, this is the exact kind of thing that I feel like Iga will be prepared against. Or she will notice it right away. And I'm not sure which techniques Iga used specifically, but does she have like Witch Bolt or something with electricity? I feel like I have a faint memory of that, and therefore, yeah, Riva, I'm sorry. No, Iga has some counter charms against your mind magic, and probably will fry you alive. I'm sorry, girl. Whew, now we have Sandra Sidney versus Iga. I would love to see that interaction and just like this confrontation in its own. However, for me, I mean, we have magic against machineries now. Interesting. And I do feel like in this instance, the magic loses and the technology and the future are winning this time. So yeah, Sandra Sidney, congratulations. However, now we come to our final fight. Wow. Like, again, we have our futuristic and our steampunks going against one another. Interesting. Okay, now this would be an amazing fight to see. It just would be like a shootout, even just like throw this in there as well. But I'm gonna say our Sandra Sydney has or she loves grenades. The problem with that being Peppy is a really great shot. I feel like Peppy will basically shoot the grenades out of her hand or out of her belt, or like even from the moment that the grenade launcher shoots. I feel like he will be there and already basically cause it to explode in her face. So I'm gonna give this to Daisuke, to Peppy. congratulations, but winner, congratulations. Really, this is, I mean, maybe also some bias because Cloud.ho is still pretty recent to me and I really, really like Peppy. But nevertheless, I feel like this was a lot of fun and I can definitely see, I can stand behind how all of this went down. And maybe, who knows, if the bracket would be shuffled differently, we would have a completely different results here. Again, there will be a second part to this, so please subscribe to not miss it and leave a like and a comment. It helps me out a lot in general. If you want to support somebody online, that is the easiest and cheapest way to do that. I do it as well with all the content creators that I want to support, and it would be appreciated if you could do it for me. And truly let me know in the comments, what do you think of this bracket? Would you have expected this? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Who would you see being the top killer, basically, of Dimension 20? Who is really the strongest here? Now, with that being said and done, I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day, and we will see us next time. Bye!